About a month ago, crypto natives were cheering news out of the European Union. A report prepared for the union's executive branch recommended a light-touch regulation of decentralized finance and stood in stark contrast to several reports prepared for the White House. Well, another publication shared by the EU is making waves again in crypto, and the reception has been a little different. A 900-word op-ed written by the head of the European Central Bank's payments division had harsh words for the original cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is on the road to irrelevance, he and his co-author wrote. A quick shout out to BitRefill, thanks for sponsoring this video, we'll have more on them later. First, some basics. The blog post is titled Bitcoin's Last Stand, and it was originally published in German newspaper Handelsblatt, then shared on the blog of the European Central Bank. Other related ECB blog posts include Key Objectives of the Digital Euro, the ECB's Case of Central Bank Digital Currencies, and Preparing for the Euro's Digital Future. For those who don't know, the euro is the currency of 19 of the EU's 27 member states, and central bank digital currencies are like crypto tokens issued by governments, generally reviled by the crypto community given the potential financial freedom violations they enable. The post's authors are Ulrich Binzeil, General Director of the ECB's Market Infrastructure and Payments Division, and Jürgen Schaaf, Advisor in that division. I should note here that the ECB has a disclaimer at the bottom of its blog post. The views expressed in each blog entry are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the views of the European Central Bank and the Euro system. Consider this a newspaper op-ed. They start their mini essay by noting Bitcoin had stabilized at roughly $20,000 per token before the FTX debacle. For Bitcoin proponents, they write, the seeming stabilization signals a breather on the way to new heights. More likely, they say, it is an artificially induced last gap before the road to irrelevance. Moreover, they believe this was already foreseeable before FTX went bust and sent the Bitcoin price to well below USD 16,000. The reasons are threefold, they say. Bitcoin is rarely used for illegal transactions, its impending regulation is misunderstood as approval, and its promotion bears reputation risks for banks. We'll get into each. According to the authors, Bitcoin's conceptual design and technological shortcomings make it questionable as a means of payment. Real Bitcoin transactions are cumbersome, slow, and expensive. Bitcoin has never been used to any significant extent for legal, real-world transactions. It's fair criticism. Look, for example, at El Salvador. The president there has made Bitcoin legal tender, and adoption has been sluggish, to put it kindly. That said, the use of the word legal there is interesting. Crypto forensics firm Chainalysis did find that cryptocurrency-based crime hit a new all-time high in 2021, but it also found that illicit activities' share of cryptocurrency transaction volume had never been lower, at less than 1/5%. Now, that's for crypto writ large. What about Bitcoin? Well, in another bit of research from 2019, Chainalysis found that a tiny fraction of the coins to have gone through privacy-preserving mixing services that are popular with terrorists and run-of-the-mill criminals actually had illicit origins. We'll get to the other points the authors made in a moment, but first, a note from our sponsor. BitRefill allows you to shop online and physically without banks, converting your crypto into merchant balance directly without any sign-up. It offers more than 5,000 gift card options in 180 countries, and in the USA, you can now pay bills like your mortgage or credit card. Creating a BitRefill account is not required, but it only takes 1 minute and you can get 1% back in rewards. Back to our story. The ECB authors also took aim at the notion Bitcoin is suitable as an investment. And I quote, it does not generate cash flow like real estate, or dividends like equities, cannot be used productively like commodities, or provide social benefits like gold. The market valuation of Bitcoin is therefore based purely on speculation. They should tell that to the millions of people who've made Bitcoin part of a diversified investment portfolio, or who find value in sensorless assets. As of 2020, an estimated 23 million entities held Bitcoin, according to Glassnode. While a Bitcoin is worth less than it was 2 years ago, it's still up more than 100% relative to its price 3 years ago, and 1,000% relative to its price 9 years ago. The authors also suggest that people don't take regulation or the prospect of regulation via bespoke legislation as legitimizing. That discussion of crypto regulations has picked up steam, has tempted the conventional financial industry to make it easier for customers to access Bitcoin, they write. But they continue, the risks of crypto assets are undisputed among regulators, and these technologies have so far created limited value for society. Tell that to the people in Argentina, Venezuela, and other emerging nations. who have been able to protect their savings thanks to Bitcoin. And that's just talking about crypto as a store of value, which is the use case Bitcoin best enables. Finally, predicting further decline in the price of Bitcoin, they write, "The reputational damage to the entire industry," by which they mean the traditional finance industry, "could be enormous once Bitcoin investors will have made further losses." It should go without saying that this post triggered every Twitter user with laser eyes in their profile picture, who shared charts showing the decline of the euro's purchasing power or criticized the author's support for CBDCs. Perhaps the most famous member of Team Laser Eyes, businessman Michael Saylor, chimed in. "Bitcoin is driving the digital transformation of money and banking," he wrote. "It is already an order of magnitude more efficient than traditional finance systems based on 20th century analog technology, and growing exponentially smarter, faster, and more efficient each year." Caitlin Long, founder of Custodia Bank, noted that the list of articles eulogizing Bitcoin is now approaching 500 entries. And Eric Voorhees, who recently debated disgraced FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried on crypto regulation, pointed to a quote at the top of the op-ed. That quote reads, "The apparent stabilization of Bitcoin's value is likely to be an artificially induced last gap before the crypto asset embarks on a road to irrelevance." Voorhees said that quote would be set in a beautiful typeface, ornately displayed on heavy matte paper, and hung elegantly upon my wall.